SLT Fibre and experience the power of fibre technology. Sri Lanka's only super fast internet connection. SLT Fibre. Call 1212 now.
Tonight, President in India. Security and bilateral cooperation dominate President Gotabaya Rajapakse's talks with the Indian Prime Minister.
India has always assisted Sri Lanka to enhance our capabilities in intelligence and counter-terrorism, and we look forward to continue support in this regard.
But the 13th Amendment also makes an appearance. Status quo. The central bank leaves policy rates unchanged. The governor also ventures thoughts on government tax cuts.
There'll also be some reduction in inflation as well when you take off things like VAT and some of the other taxes. So the challenge is to maintain that momentum, to make sure that you get growth in the medium to long term.
Pardon under scrutiny. Royal Park murder convict's presidential pardon challenged in Supreme Court. The final 16. Sri Lanka's squad to take on Pakistan announced. All that and much more coming up on First at 9. This Friday, the 29th of November, 2019.
මේ සීන් එකෙන් කට් වෙන්න. ඇන්ටිජර් මවුත්වොෂ් සමගින් එන ක්ලෝස් අප් ජෙල් එක ස්ටෝරි එක ස්ටාර්ට් කරන්න.
Hi.
Hi.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to First at 9. I'm Dhammika Kanaka. Let's start with your local stories. While commending the strength and maturity of democracy in Sri Lanka showcased during the recent election, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls on President Gotabaya Rajapakse to fulfill the aspirations of the Tamil community, which also includes the implementation of the 13th Amendment. After the visiting Sri Lankan head of state held talks with Indian leaders today, Indian Prime Minister announced a $400 million line of credit for infrastructure projects in the island nation, along with a further credit line worth $50 million to counter terrorism. The visit to the neighbouring India, is President Gotabaya Rajapakse's maiden official overseas visit following his election win. Speaking alongside PM Modi, the Sri Lankan president added that he expects India to continue its assistance in the counter-terrorism and intelligence fronts as it has done in the past.
President Gotabaya Rajapakse, who is currently in India as part of his first official visit overseas after taking office, met with the country's Minister of External Affairs, S. Jaishankar, today. During the meeting, Jaishankar had expressed his gratitude to the President for choosing India for his first state visit after coming to power. Upon his arrival at Rashtrapati Bhavan following the meeting, President Rajapakse was accorded a ceremonial reception as he was welcomed by Indian President Ramnath Kovind and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. President Rajapakse then expressed views to media.
This is my first overseas visit after assuming duties as the President of Sri Lanka. I want to express my gratitude to His Excellency the Prime Minister for inviting me for this visit, and my expectations are very high, and I want to, during my tenure as the President, I want to bring the relationship between India and Sri Lanka into a very high level, and we have of course a long-standing friendship historically, culturally and politically, and at the same time we need to work together for the benefit of India as well as Sri Lanka and people of Sri Lanka, and on security as well as the economic development.
Indian President had said that the meeting was a special opportunity to enhance the friendship between the two countries and has extended full support to President Rajapakse's program. During talks, President Rajapakse had assured to work towards bringing Indo-Sri Lanka relations to the highest level within his tenure. President Rajapakse then paid respects to the Mahatma Gandhi Memorial at Rajghat. The President also made a note in the special guest journal. The visiting Sri Lanka head of state then met with the Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi at his official residence in Hyderabad, where they held talks for over an hour. The duo then held a joint media briefing.
यह हमारे लिए सम्मान की बात है कि राष्ट्रपति राजपक्ष ने अपनी पहली विदेश यात्रा के लिए भारत को चुना। यह भारत और श्रीलंका के मित्रतापूर्ण संबंधों की मजबूती और डायनेमिक्स का प्रतीक है। यह इस बात का भी संकेत है कि दोनों देश इन संबंधों को कितना महत्व देते हैं। दोनों देशों की प्रगति और हमारे इस पूरे साझा क्षेत्र में शांति, समृद्धि और सुरक्षा के लिए हम राष्ट्रपति राजपक्ष के साथ घनिष्ठ रूप से काम करने के लिए तत्पर हैं। एक्सेलेंसी, आपको प्राप्त जनादेश एक संगठित, मजबूत और समृद्ध श्रीलंका के लिए श्रीलंका के लोगों की आकांक्षाओं को अभिव्यक्त करता है। इस संबंध में भारत की शुभेच्छा और सहयोग हमेशा श्रीलंका के साथ है। एक स्थिर, सुरक्षित और समृद्ध श्रीलंका न केवल भारत के हित में है, बल्कि संपूर्ण इंडियन ओशन रीजन के भी हित में है। मेरी सरकार की नेबरहुड फर्स्ट नीति और सागर डॉक्ट्रिन के अनुरूप हम श्रीलंका के साथ अपने संबंधों को प्राथमिकता देते हैं। हमारे दोनों देशों की सुरक्षा और विकास अविभाज्य है और इसलिए यह स्वाभाविक है कि हम एक दूसरे की सुरक्षा और संवेदनशीलताओं के प्रति सचेत रहें। मैंने राष्ट्रपति जी को श्रीलंका के साथ विकास की साझेदारी के लिए भारत की प्रतिबद्धता का आश्वासन दिया है। हमेशा की तरह यह सहयोग श्रीलंका के लोगों की प्राथमिकताओं के अनुसार होगा। $400 मिलियन की एक नई लाइन ऑफ क्रेडिट से श्रीलंका में इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और विकास को बल मिलेगा। मुझे विश्वास है कि इससे श्रीलंका की अर्थव्यवस्था को लाभ पहुंचेगा। साथ ही यह लाइन ऑफ क्रेडिट दोनों देशों के बीच पारस्परिक लाभ के प्रोजेक्ट कोऑपरेशन को भी गति देगी। ईस्टर के आतंकियों ने पूरी मानव जाति की विविधता और सहजीवन की मूल्यवान विरासत पर नृशंस हमले किए और आतंकवाद के विरुद्ध हमारे सहयोग को और मजबूत करने पर मैंने राष्ट्रपति राजपक्ष के साथ विस्तार से चर्चा की है। प्रमुख भारतीय संस्थानों में श्रीलंका के पुलिस अधिकारी काउंटर टेररिस्ट ट्रेनिंग का लाभ पहले से ही प्राप्त कर रहे हैं। आतंकवाद से निपटने के लिए श्रीलंका को $50 मिलियन की एक विशेष लाइन ऑफ क्रेडिट की घोषणा करते हुए मुझे खुशी हो रही है। मछुआरों की आजीविका को प्रभावित करने वाले मुद्दों पर भी हमने चर्चा की। हमारे बीच सहमति है कि हम इस मामले के कंस्ट्रक्टिव और मानवीय दृष्टिकोण जारी रखेंगे। हमने श्रीलंका में रिकंसिलिएशन पर भी विचारों का खुलकर आदान प्रदान किया। मुझे विश्वास है कि श्रीलंका सरकार तमिलों की समानता, न्याय, शांति और सम्मान की आकांक्षाओं को पूरा करने के लिए रिकंसिलिएशन की प्रक्रिया को आगे बढ़ाएगी। इसमें 13th अमेंडमेंट को लागू करना भी शामिल है। उत्तर और पूर्व समेत पूरे श्रीलंका में विकास के लिए भारत एक विश्वसनीय भागीदार बनेगा।
Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi and I discussed several important issues this morning. The discussions were extremely cordial and reassuring. Among these, cooperation in regard to security of our two countries took priority. India has always assisted Sri Lanka to enhance our capabilities in intelligence and counterterrorism, and we look forward to continue support in this regard. Since our recent experience in April this year, we have had to rethink our national security strategies, and assistance from India in this regard would be most appreciated. His Excellency Prime Minister's assurances on this regard are most encouraging. Whilst with India, our cooperation is multifaceted, with priority given to security-related matters with other countries. Initiatives for cooperation are by and large economic and commercial. We will continue to work closely with India to ensure that Indian Ocean remain as a zone of peace. We also discussed how Sri Lanka and India could work together in economically important matters. I discussed with the Prime Minister how Sri Lanka could benefit out of certain economic sectors where India is strongly positioned. I thank Prime Minister for his positive responses to many of the initiatives I proposed to enhance Sri Lanka's economy. We discussed in length the fishermen's issue and will take steps to release boats belong to India in our custody. Prime Minister and I also discussed how India could assist us in trade between our two countries. Since my election as the President of Sri Lanka, the first official invitation was from His Excellency Prime Minister and the Government of India. I would avail of this opportunity to invite Prime Minister Modi to visit us as the first head of government to visit Sri Lanka since my election as the President of Sri Lanka.
Gel scene action. Anti-germ mouthwash samagin in a close-up gel like a story ka start karanna.
Now, issues within the United National Party, especially with regards to the position of opposition leader, rumbles on, with the UNP MPs voicing views on various permutations. From today's utterances, it is clear that the party members expect the matter to be resolved before the next parliamentary sitting on the 3rd of December. There was also a consensus that a two-leader solution, where the UNP leader and the leader of the opposition are not the same, might not be practical. This is what they had to say.
එතුමා අප පැහැදිලිව පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රීවරුන්ගේ තීන්දුව ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න සැදී පැහැදී තියෙනවා. හැබැයි එතුමා ලෑස්ති විපක්ෂ නායක තනතුර වගේ ඉල්ලලා තියනවා අද මන්ත්‍රීවරුන් 57 දෙනෙක් අසංකල්. එතුමා මේ පිළිබඳ ගරු සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස අපේ ජනාධිපති අපේක්ෂකතුමා සමග සාකච්ඡා කළා. එතුමා තීරණයකට එන්න කැමතියි. සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මැතිතුමා මම හිතනවා අද දවසේ යහපත් ප්‍රතිචාරයක් මේ කෙරෙහි දක්වයි කියලා. පාර්ලිමේන්තු ආරම්භයේදීම විපක්ෂ ආරම්භයේදීම ලැබේ. ප්‍රේමදාස මහත්තයා ඉඳ ගන්නවද? එහෙම අපි තවම එතුමාගේ උත්තරේ දුන්නේ නැහැනේ.
එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයට අලුත් නායකත්වයක් අවශ්‍යයි. විපක්ෂයට අලුත් නායකත්වයක් අවශ්‍යයි. මේ රටේ ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදය ශක්තිමත් වෙන්න නම් අනිවාර්යෙන්ම එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය ශක්තිමත් විය යුතුයි. දේශපාලන බලය එක පැත්තකට තල්ලු වෙලා ගියොත් එහෙම අධික බලය අධික ලෙස මිනිස් පුරවැසියන්ගේ අයිතිවාසිකම් සීමා කරනවා. ඒ නිසා කිසිම පක්ෂයකට අධික බලයක් දිය යුතු නැහැ. දැන් එක පක්ෂයක් මේ මැතිවරණ ජයග්‍රහණය කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා මේ මොහොතේ විපක්ෂයේ එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය ශක්තිමත් විය යුතුයි. එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය ශක්තිමත් වෙන්න නම් අලුත් නායකයෙක්, ඒ වගේම විපක්ෂයට අලුත් නායකයෙක් අවශ්‍යයි. දැන් මේ ප්‍රශ්නය පිළිබඳව කවුරුත් මම හිතන එකකතාවයක් තියෙනවා. මේ ඉක්මනින් විසඳෙන්න ඕනේ. අදම විසඳෙන්න ඕනේ. අපිට අහිමි වන හැම දවසක්ම වැදගත්. අවුරුදු 25ක් ගරු රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමා අපේ පක්ෂයට රටත් කරපු සේවයට බොහොම ස්තුතියි. දැන් තියෙන්නේ අලුත් නායකයෙකුට වෙලා.
පක්ෂ නායකත්වය සහ විපක්ෂ නායකත්වය දෙන්නට තරන්න කියාවක් නැහැ. විපක්ෂ නායකත්වය දෙන්නේ පරාජිත පත් අනිත් පක්ෂත් එක්ක සංසන්දනය කිරීමේදී වැඩි මන්ත්‍රීවරු පිරිසක් ඉන්නවා නම් ඒ පක්ෂය තමයි විපක්ෂ නායකත්වය හිමි වෙන්නේ. ඒතකොට එහෙම තෝරගන්න පක්ෂ නායකයට තමයි විපක්ෂ නායකත්වය ලැබෙන්නේ. විපක්ෂ නායකතුරු එකතු පුද්ගලයෙකුට දෙනවා. ඒ වගේම පක්ෂ නායකත්වයට එක පුද්ගලයෙකුට දෙනවා කියන එක ප්‍රායෝගික නෑ මන් දන්න තරමින්. රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමාගේ විශ්‍රම කිරීමත් එක්ක තමයි ඔකට සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ. මම දන්න පාර්ලිමේන්තු සම්ප්‍රදායන්ට අනුව ඊට පිටින් ඔක සිද්ධ වෙන ක්‍රමයක් නෑ.
දරුවාගේ අස්ථි ප්‍රතිශක්ති කරන පද්ධතිය සහ මානසික ක්‍රියා නිසි පරිදි පවත්වාගෙන යාමට දායක වන කැල්සියම්, විටමින් C සහ යකඩ අඩංගු මයිලෝ සමගින් පෝෂණයෙන් ඉදිරියට.
ෆ්‍රිජ් සඳහා 30% දක්වා වට්ටම්. දිවයින පුරා සොෆ්ට්ලොජික් සහ සොෆ්ට්ලොජික් මැක්ස් ප්‍රදර්ශනාගාරවලින්.
Now, shifting the focus onto another matter, the Royal Park murder convict Jude Shramanta Anthony Jayamaha, who was granted a presidential pardon during former President Maithripala Sirisena's last days in office, encountered another challenge today. A petition filed challenging the former president's decision to pardon the convict was taken up before a Supreme Court judge bench. During the proceedings, the court ordered the petitioners to name the former president as a respondent.
The Supreme Court today issued an interim injunction on Royal Park murder convict Jude Shramanta Anthony Jayamaha, who was recently granted a presidential pardon, preventing him from travelling overseas. The petition filed by the Women and Media Collective challenging the decision by former President Maithripala Sirisena to pardon the convict was taken up today before a judge bench comprising Justices Buwanika Alubihare, Vijit Malalgoda and Gamini Amarasekara. President's counsel Sanjeev Vijayawardena, appearing on behalf of the petitioners, made submissions and stated that the former president's decision to select and pardon only this individual out of over 1,000 convicts currently on death row is completely unconstitutional. He also informed the court that they have received information that Jai Maha has already left the country. Accordingly, the judge bench ordered to take up the petition once again on the 9th of December, while an interim injunction was also issued preventing Jude Shramanta Jai Maha from leaving the country, effective until the 10th of December. The court also ordered the petitioners to name former President Maithripala Sirisena personally as respondents. Jude Shramanta Anthony Jai Maha was sentenced to death over the Royal Park murder case in 2005 but was released on a presidential pardon earlier this month.
We'll be back after this very short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching First at 9. Now, the central bank left its key interest rates unchanged today, as widely expected, 2 days after the government announced major tax cuts to boost the economic growth that has fallen to a near two-decade low. It kept the standing deposit facility rate and standing lending facility rate steady at 7% and 8% respectively. The central bank has cut rates by 100 basis points in 2 meetings since May to bolster the economy after the deadly Easter Sunday bombings by Islamist militants.
Monetary Board decided to continue its accommodative stance overall to the policy rates. The external environment continues to be favorable. The US Fed is in a passive stance and capital flows are not a problem right now. Growth continues to be muted. The output gap also persists. So that again argues for a relaxation of policy. Inflation expectations are well anchored and the outlook is stable, and we expect inflation to come down to the middle of the range during the course of next year. The private sector credit growth has been well below what we expected originally. There was, in absolute terms, an expectation that private sector credit would grow by 750 billion rupees. It's more likely to be about 250 or 270 billion this year. So it is significantly less. The exchange rate has also been relatively stable. I think it's appreciated by a little over 1% so far, and that may be attributed to the significant improvement in the trade deficit, which has also led to a reduction in our current account deficit from 3.2% of GDP last year to 2.6%. So the current account deficit improvement and less pressure as far as capital accounts outflows are concerned, has meant that the exchange rate is relatively stable. There are a couple of factors which we need to take into account, which go in the other direction. One is there has been a great deal that has been done as far as relaxing monetary policy is concerned already. We expect the prime rate to come down 70 basis points by end of December, and the average weighted lending rate to come down by 120 basis points by March. So all that has still to take place. So there is this relaxation of monetary policy that is ongoing and on stream, and we need to make sure that we understand fully what the impact of what has already been done before there is any further relaxation of monetary policy. So that's one reason to be on hold, though there are a number of factors that point in the direction of relaxation. The other factor we need to be cautious about is the fiscal outturn. Even before this fiscal package that came out a couple of days ago, there were certain fiscal measures, including the salary increase that comes on stream in January, which argues for some degree of caution as far as loosening monetary policy is concerned.
This recent tax reduction the government announced, how that is going to impact the rupee and the overall economy?
You will get a policy statement from the government very soon as to how they are going to ensure that this infusion of demand into the system won't be excessive. So if it is not excessive, we should get a boost to growth We should get, in the short term, there will also be some reduction in inflation as well, when you take off things like VAT and some of the other taxes. So the challenge is to maintain that momentum, to make sure that you get growth in the medium to long term and you maintain inflation at low and stable levels. For that, it's important that you structure this fiscal stimulus package within a stable framework, which does not lead to overheating of the economy and which does not challenge the debt dynamics in a way that would be counterproductive.
Now taking a look at the markets, Sri Lankan shares ended higher today, helped by positive sentiments surrounding tax cuts by the new government. The all-share price index jumped 0.17% to 6,211.97, its highest since the 25th of June last year. The bourse gained 1.5% last week and is up 2.64% for the year. Foreign investors were net sellers for 24 sessions out of 26. They sold a net 472.7 million rupees worth of shares today, extending the net selling so far this year to 10.74 billion rupees worth of equities. Equity market turnover was 1.61 billion rupees, more than this year's daily average of around 725 million rupees. Now here's a look at how the bourse performed over the week.
During the week, the ASPA gained 1.5%, mainly due to price gains in counters such as John Keel's Holdings, Ceylon Tobacco Company and Dialog Axiata. Meanwhile, the S&P SL20 increased by 1.7%. The average daily turnover for the week was down from last week to 1.4 billion rupees. Manufacturing sector recorded the highest sector turnover during the week, whilst the second highest was seen in diversified sector. The foreign participation remained active during the week, with foreigners closing as net sellers, where foreign selling accounted for 37% of the total weekly turnover. A net foreign outflow of nearly 1.49 billion rupees was recorded for the week. This resulted in the year-to-date net foreign outflow to increase to 10.74 billion rupees. Out of the weekly turnover, crossings accounted for nearly 21%, which was a higher proportion than last week.
Now taking a look at the currency market, the rupee ended 0.14% weaker at 180 rupees and 85 cents to 181 rupees per US dollar. Now that is in comparison to yesterday's close of 180 rupees and 62.80 cents. It is up, that is the rupee, of course, 0.6% so far this year. Now let's take a look at how the Sri Lankan rupee traded against other major currencies during the day. We'll be taking a look at what's happening around the world after this break. Stay tuned. Now, Sri Lanka Cricket officially announced the 16-member squad to take part in the upcoming tour of Pakistan. The squad will be captained by Dimuth Karunaratne, and both experienced batsmen Angelo Matthews and Dinesh Chandimal are included in the 16-member squad. The Test series was originally scheduled for October at a neutral venue because of security concerns, but the Cricket Board of Pakistan requested Sri Lanka to play the entire bilateral series in Pakistan with the guarantee of good security. The team will leave for Pakistan on the 8th of December to take part in the two-match series held under the ICC Test Championship. The first match will be played in December 11th in Rawalpindi, with the second match set to be worked off in Karachi. Meanwhile, in the English Premier League, Unai Emery had been sacked as Arsenal manager after 18 months in charge. The Spaniard, who previously led Paris Saint-Germain to the French league title and won 3 Europa Leagues with Sevilla, was appointed Gunners boss in May 2018, succeeding Arsene Wenger. He has been replaced on a temporary basis by assistant and former Arsenal midfielder Freddie Ljungberg. Arsenal said the decision had been taken due to results and performances not being at the level required. The Gunners have not won in 7 games and lost 2-1 at home to Eintracht Frankfurt in the Europa League last evening. And that's it from all of us here at First at 9. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.